Hi designers, this is Brother Stucki checking in with week 5. This is an exciting week because one, it's going to be the first week that we start using the Adobe software specifically for designing. We are starting a 2-week project called the magazine spread. We have a lot of information here, so it's important that you go through each of these and read all of the instructions, watch all of the videos, do the InDesign worksheet, submit it, and then start working on your magazine spread draft. Now, the way this magazine spread draft works is you're going to submit what you've done so far. You have all of the requirements that you'll want to follow, but then also you're going to submit it on Facebook. I have made a post on the Facebook page where you are to basically submit a JPEG of your magazine spread. You need to do that by the end of the week, by the due date, and then on Monday and Tuesday, your fellow classmates are going to start critiquing your piece, and you're going to critique your classmates. The requirement is that you critique at least 2 classmates. If somebody already has 2 comments, then please look past and find one that doesn't have any comments. The idea is to ask questions, share your feedback, even make suggestions. If there's something that you don't think looks right, you should say so. And then on Wednesday morning, in a week and a half, into week 6, I'm going to look at the Facebook draft and I'm going to make a critique video available to you, and that will give you all day Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and even Saturday to make the changes that I suggest. Now, while it's not required that you make every change I suggest, I highly recommend you do so, since technically I am the client of this job and I will be looking at your final and grading it. So if you don't make a suggestion, that's okay. Just have a good reason why you didn't. And you should be fine as long as you're following good design principles and so on. So let's go ahead and look at the magazine spread draft for just a minute. We'll just double click in here and you'll see that we have this draft report. Now, you have a draft report that you're going to want to download, and you'll need to submit this each week. Download this report, fill out the information, and save it as a PDF. Your draft should include 100% of the project minimum requirements, and you should have a good start on a visually appealing design. You can find these minimum requirements at the bottom of this page. Your submission will include the Facebook post as well as your iLearn post. Now we have a couple of examples for you to look at, so let's just take a look at them for a minute. Here we have a good example, and here we have a bad example. Let's see if we can figure out a couple of things as to why this is a bad example and why this is a good example. Notice the typography. Let's look at the first page. The title looks nice. We have light, we have a color scheme, we have a nice image, and it bleeds all the way to the edge. When we look at page 2 and 3, we have the same color scheme being followed, and we have nice text being placed in. Notice the text wrapping around this picture of the temple on the second page. Notice this pull-out quote here on the second page. These are all really great examples that make a magazine spread quite appealing. It has a page number, nice title, nice images, and nice text. Nice typography, nice alignment. These are all great examples. Whereas if we look here, we can see the Holy Temple, and the title is a little bit hard to follow. The bleed doesn't exist on the title page. It does on the second page. But notice things like there are hyphens here. And when it comes to typography in a magazine spread, you really want to try and avoid hyphens. You want things to look very visually appealing. Notice alignment, which isn't taking place over here. The top of the third page doesn't align. The column on the left is a little bit lower than the column on the right. The picture is just a square picture, and the text comes right to the edge of the picture. These are things that we want to avoid. And so what I would recommend is that you actually find a magazine article, look at the Ensign, or look at another magazine that maybe you subscribe to or that you can buy at the store, and take a look at it and compare. Find principles of design that you like and things that you don't like, and apply them to your own design. That's one of the greatest things that I can recommend, is find things that inspire you and use them to the advantage. Let's go ahead and see if we can click out of that. Let's see. Okay. So we'll get back into week 5 magazine spread. Some of the things that you're going to be wanting to work on are the requirements here. This is the minimum expectations. And by next Saturday, when you submit your draft for critique by your classmates and me, you will want to have these minimum expectations. 1, you will have to use InDesign. It will be 3 pages, which basically is a title page and 1 spread. Notice here, the Holy Temple is the title page, and then the 2-page spread below. We want to see this on an 8 and basically 8.375, which is 8 3/8 of an inch by 10 7/8 of an inch. That's kind of a standard magazine size. We want to see a 2-column layout. Part of the thing that's going to take some time is you need to use a 600+ word article. And this article can have a title but no other headings that break it up. So you can go to LDS.org or BYU-Idaho.org and find that article that you're going to use. Break the article up with 3+ headings and subheadings. We want you to have 1 pull-out quote, 2 relevant messages, or images, and these need to be pictures that you take. So that's going to take some thinking and some creativity to come up with the images that you need so that they are relative or relevant to your particular magazine spread, to the story that you are using. We want to use 1 word wrap. So notice up here when we look at this image of the temple, notice how we kind of wrap around the temple there. That's called text wrapping, and that's something that we want to see. I want to see consistent headings and body copy and contrasting typography. Remember the rules of tasteful typography, having 2 fonts that are complementary but are contrasting as well. And you'll want to provide a link to the original article. You will be graded on your understanding, application, and integration of the principles of design, typography, color, and photography. This will also include evidence of original thinking and skillful use of these concepts. So there we have week 5. Now let's look at week 6 for just a minute and make sure that everything makes sense there. You, by then, will be participating in the Facebook critique. You will submit your critique report, and then you will watch the video, which I will make available to you by next Wednesday. And then you will need to make the updates and submit your final magazine spread. It's really pretty simple, pretty basic. It's really just, the way I look at it is if you follow all of those instructions and you meet the requirements, then you'll do just fine. I think you can have a lot of fun with this, but you're going to want to follow the examples. You're going to want to meet with me if you're having questions about it. My office hours are a great time to meet and see what I might suggest. It would give you 15 minutes of my undivided attention, so feel free to send me an email if you'd like to meet with me, and we can make it work. Otherwise, for this week, I'll be looking forward to planning on the critique at the end of this week, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your final submission in a couple of weeks. I hope you all can do a good job. I'm rooting for each of you. I'm praying for each of you. So far, you're doing great. You've really come a long ways already this semester in the way you've been participating. I'm glad to see how many of you are participating in the class. So please reach out to me and let me know if you need help. And otherwise, be watching for my video to show up next week. Good luck, everybody. Have a good one.